Hello, everybody. So there are going to be times when you want to see numbers, see data, see words, and get it from an output. And the 1602 LCD is one way to do that. Another way that I've played with is like a 1-inch OLED. But we're talking about this right now. Now, when you get this 1602 LCD, I don't know why this doesn't. There we go. There's some focus. Um, I like to get it so that it's already wired, so that the pins are already soldered in together. This is an adjuster for the backlight. It's got 4 pins. See if we can see them: ground and voltage, but then SCL and SDA, which is serial clock and serial data, which are pin 19 and 20 on the microbit. So I've got those plugged in. Now, when you plug the other ends in, just got to make sure you plug the right colors into the right places. Okay, that's important. Now, since I have this kind of cable socket here, I need an expansion board that has, oh my gosh, focus down that far, doesn't want to be focused. There we go. I have several expansion boards, and this one has pin 19 and 20 on this black breakout, which means I need a pin to plug into there, not a socket. This other board gives me, this is a KittenBot IO bit. This one does give me pins, so I could use this one. But then the Brown Dog Gadget one also gives me SCL and SDA. Those are the yellow ones. Gives me pins to plug into there. So I'm going to use this one. So again, you just got to plug the right colors in the right place. I've got SCL is yellow and SDA is green. So I got to make sure I plug those in the right place, otherwise it's not going to work. SCL was yellow, SDA was green, and then red is voltage, which makes orange ground. So I just got to plug those into ground and voltage and ground. Okay, there we go, plugged in. Boom. And now I'm gonna do a button. They say like playing a game, and when you press a button, it's gonna change a number. That's what I'm gonna go for. So I'm gonna plug this into 13. So I'm gonna go with ground and signal on 13. Okay. So let's go over to code. So I've got an LCD. I've got to go get an extension for the LCD. You could scroll through here. I tend to just put it in 1602. You could see if you do 1602, LCD didn't come up. 1602 did. That's by a company that makes a makecode. And there we go, LCD. So it's kind of like NeoPixels, as you have to tell the microbit we've got a LCD attached at address 39. I forget what other address I've seen. There's only a couple addresses possible, but that has always worked for me. And so basically the other things are show. There's display, there's using it as a if something is happening. I don't know why I'd play with that, because create a 5-byte matrix. Yeah, I don't have a 5-byte. I have a 1602, which is 16 characters on 2 lines is what it is. Show character at position. I pretty much use this. Forever show something at position 1, and it's going to be length of that. So there's position 1, length of 16. Again, it's 2 lines, 16 characters on a line. I'm going to change that to be temp, as in temperature. It's not 16 long, that's only 4 long, so I'm going to make it 5. Make a space, and then I'm going to show the temperature, hey, which is an input. The microbit has a way to measure temperature. So I'm going to show the number. And it's going to be at position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, position 6, length of 2. I might want to say length of 3. Okay. So I still got spaces over there if I want, but that's okay. I don't need any more. So we can show things like that. Now I'm going to use that button, but I got to do some things here. Remember, pins need to be set. I got to set my pin. Where did I say I plugged it into? 13? I've got to set my pin on 13 to up. And then I'm going to use an if. Oh, I also need a variable. We'll just call it button. Or a press. How about press? We'll call it press. And I need to initial my press to 0. So I made a variable and set it to 0. So I'm going to count button presses. So now we need some logic. If what? If button presses 0. If I press the button and I get a 0. Again, I set my pole pin to up. So, and I've got my button connected to ground. So if I press it, I should send a ground, which is 0. If digital read on pin 13, if pin 13 reads a 0, then do something. What am I going to do? Let's come back to variables. I'm going to change my variable press by 1. Ta-da! So I set a pin on 13. I set it high so that 0 is a trigger. So ground is trigger. And I'm going to change my variable by 1. I started off setting it to 0. Now, pause is often a good thing. We need to have this thing pause. Now, we could pause it here, or I think we could pause it out here if we wanted to. Because if we don't pause it a little bit, one button press will read a whole bunch of times. Because the computer, it runs code so fast. So, let me plug in the microbit. It changed the download. Let's download that program. And let's go to camera. Alrighty, let's plug this in. Now, which way to plug it in? Well, over here it says 0, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to use that as saying, hey, 0 should be facing here. So there's 0. Boom. I've downloaded it to here. This is a battery. We can see this. It might actually be upside down to you. I can't remember. It is upside down to you. So let me turn this all around. And I'm going to press the button. And we should get a 1. Why am I not getting a 1? Did I not tell it to show? I bet I didn't, did I? I did not. I forgot to do this. The most important part. Show press at position 17 with a length of 6. I forgot the most important part. Actually show that. And show the variable press. You knew that before. You were saying, don't go to camera. You still need more code. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go over here to 23. And however high you want to count, right? Now that makes sense. If yep. Now I actually don't need that inside of the if, do I? I can just put it up there. So when it starts, it should show 0, right? Yeah. And then the if is going to change that. It's going to pause for a moment, go up here, show, and then come back through. Yeah, there we go. That makes much more sense now. Man, how could I not show the thing I was trying to measure? So think about, making a, that could be anything. I've had it show um, the numbers on the thumbstick. Hey, what values is the thumbstick at? Alrighty, here we go. So it should show a 0. Yay! Temperature 28. Press 0. Now let's press the button. Hopefully it goes to 1. 1. 2. Yeah, if you don't put a pause in there, your one press is going to actually trigger several times. I might have put too long of a pause. Why is it not changing again? There we go. So you play with the pause. I mean, that slows your program down by half a second. Maybe you don't need half a second. Okay? So there we go, an LCD to display whatever you need to display. And again, you can change the adjust the backlight. And there's also what was it? A black and yellow one also is one of the possibilities. So enjoy.